Ludicrous Feed is proudly sponsored by Carloop, Evee, and Warbox.
Hey everyone, Tom here from Ludicrous Feed. Thank you so much for joining us. I have the absolute pleasure this week of driving this beautiful car. This is the 2024 long-range dual-motor performance. This is basically the bee's knees of Polestar 2s, and very much thanks to Polestar Australia again for loaning me this vehicle. And there's a lot to love about the Polestar 2, I must say. I've been really enjoying this vehicle inside and outside. This currently is on the road in New South Wales, Australia for over $115,000. We'll get to the value of this car and compare it to, of course, its natural competitor, the Tesla Model 3, and possibly also the Tesla Model Y as well. And I'll give my reasons as to why I think someone might choose this vehicle over, say, for example, the Tesla Model 3. So a few specs to start with. The 2024 Polestar 2s, almost indistinguishable from the 2023 variants. The only, I guess, massive difference is the front of the vehicle. Instead of the 2023 having the plastic grille, that has been replaced by this smart zone where there are radars and cameras to help with driver interactions for the car. But apart from that, it's pretty much the same looking vehicle inside and out, really. The shell is still based on the Volvo XC40 platform, which it shares with. But let's go through some of the specs. So this particular vehicle, Polestar 2 2024 long-range dual-motor performance, and Plus and Pilot with a software upgrade for performance as well. 82 kilowatt-hour NMC battery with a WLTP range of over 550 kilometers. With a software upgrade for the performance, 4.2 seconds, 0 to 100 kilometers, and over 350 kilowatts of power as well. So very powerful vehicle, all-wheel drive, very quick, and yours on the road for over $115,000. And outside the vehicle, you know, very well designed, beautiful vehicle from the Geely Motor Company, which the Volvo company also is under as well these days. Sino-Swedish design. It's designed in Sweden and produced these days in China. Again, very stylish on the outside, there's no denying that. It looks very luxurious, looks very heavy set, which I guess when you want to drive a luxury vehicle, which by the way this is, I'm going to say this is a luxury vehicle, as opposed to maybe a premium vehicle like a Tesla, for example. I personally don't think a Tesla is a luxury vehicle in my opinion, whereas this, I think this falls in that luxury category. Inside the vehicles, you can see in front of me here, and you can see on your screen there, designed very well. It's got accents, it's got contrast, it's got highlights, very refined. Materials look beautiful, all sustainable, which Polestar are very careful about. They do tell me often in the media days that I attend. You can see it's been beautifully designed as well. The contrast, the lighting which has at night time as well, even the shadows that you can see on the dash there. The screens are very high definition, both the center cluster as well as the drive cluster as well as the center screen. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wide admittedly. And yeah, everything you'd expect from an EV, you know, set charging times. Driver assist modes, adaptive cruise control, range assistant, driver alert monitoring, blind spot cameras, oh no, not blind spot cameras, reversing cameras, 360 degree cameras, blind spot monitoring, and auto steer as well. So lots of functions which you would find in common with, for example, a Tesla Model 3, Model Y. No built-in Sentry Cam and dash cam at this point. And look, it's not obviously the perfect car. I don't think any vehicle is, but it comes pretty close. There are, of course, issues with the vehicle which we're all well aware of these days. For example, it's quite claustrophobic here in the front. This center console is huge. You know, if you're a bigger person than myself, I'm sort of average height, average build, I guess, maybe a bit less, a bit slighter. My knees don't knock this too much, but I know people who have longer legs have had issues with this thing that the center console has that you could bash your knees on. The second row does not have a flat floor. It's kind of a remnant of a shared platform with a Volvo XC40 vehicle. So I believe the Polestar 3 will rectify that to some degree. The floor will be flatter. And it's got a glass roof as well, which the Tesla Model 3, Model Y suffer from as well. Some people don't like that. It's quite hot in Australia. If you park your car outside, that could be an issue. So those kind of small things, and the center screen has a big bezel as well, so it doesn't fully utilize the size of the screen. That, of course, is rectified in Polestar 3. So small things like that. Some of them possibly a deal breaker. Your knees knock onto this. The second row floor is not flat, so compromises on space at the back. But for me personally, it's not huge deal breaker by any chance, any stretch, sorry, of the imagination. So yes, like I said, very refined vehicle. Sound system is fantastic, despite being, apart from the fact that it's Harman Kardon, even if you didn't notice that, you'll know that the sound system is very good in this vehicle. The ride quality is really good. I've driven this vehicle, or the Polestar 2, to Melbourne and Sydney, from Melbourne to Sydney and return. Very comfortable vehicle. All passengers are very happy with it. Because it's a heavier vehicle, it feels solid. I don't know, there's this perception that luxury vehicles are firm, they're solid, very comfortable, and this is what the Polestar is. It's all that. It's very comfy, very luxurious. You get that feeling that you're being loved, being looked after in this vehicle. Everything just feels very well put together. And that brings me to my point about the price. So, like I said, this particular vehicle, the long range dual motor, performance plus pilot plus everything, fast vehicle, 4.2 seconds, 115,000 on the road in New South Wales. When you look at a similar EV to that price range, you can get a Tesla Model Y with full self-driving option, top of the range again, dual motor, sorry, not even that, performance Model Y, best wheels, white interior, red color, which is the top color, for $118,000 driveway in New South Wales. So $3,000 more will get you a Tesla. Arguably better specs on paper. So arguably better range, better efficiency, better acceleration, arguably better tech as well with the autopilot system. Infotainment is pretty good, although Tesla doesn't have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. And similarly with Tesla Model 3, you can't actually order a performance at the moment in Australia because the performance refresh 2024 Model 3 has not been released yet. So the best you can do at the moment is a long-range dual motor Tesla Model 3 spec'd up with full self-driving option. And that's, I think, about $90,000. So, with a Polestar 2, you'll have spare change and you can still get a Tesla Model 3. So I guess the question remains, which I want to try to answer today, and I've given this a lot of thought. Who buys a Polestar 2 in Australia? What kind of person buys a Polestar 2 when on paper a Tesla Model 3 Model Y is arguably better value? Why splash out a bit more for a Polestar 2? And I think I've possibly got the solution, and it's taken me quite a while to understand this concept of a luxury vehicle. Because for me, I've grown up my whole life looking at value. I don't know whether it's because I've been brought up that way, it's an innate personality trait, I don't know what it is, but value, I must examine everything to the nth degree and go, is this the best value that I can buy with my money? Is this the best value vehicle? Is this the best value product, the phone, computer, whatever it is I'm buying? I'll scrutinize it completely. And then go, yes, okay, I'm happy that the money I'm about to fork over to the person selling me this product is about to give me the best product I can get for this money. And by the way, I'll just put on cruise control just to show you how that works. So just push this button here, and then the steering pilot assist comes on, and then you can just ramp up to the speed limit, 110, which is what it is right now, and then you can just have lane vehicle follow as well. And that is it works really well. Like I said, I've driven this to Melbourne and back, and it's Perfect. It's fine. And best thing about Polestar 2 as well is that there is no phantom braking, which unfortunately the Tesla vehicle suffers from. So yeah, so back to my point about who buys a Polestar 2. Well, it comes down to the fact that you want to be different. Okay, that's the crux of it. Okay, sure, you can talk about other things like Polestar is very sustainable. They blockchain trace everything. They're very careful with where their materials are sourced from to make sure it's sustainable, and they'll tell you very transparent with that, which is very commendable for them for doing that. So you feel good about yourself purchasing that product. They design their cars beautifully. It's still relatively good product, good, very efficient still, good range, good acceleration, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you buy a Polestar 2, now this is my opinion, you buy a Polestar 2 because you don't want a Tesla. Because at the moment, we know in Australia, Tesla is the top selling EV in this country. Whether it be Tesla Model Y in the last few months, now it's Tesla Model 3 back in October 2023, which is the latest results from VFAX. Polestar 2 has always been up there, but it's not the top selling. And they do that on purpose. They don't want to be the top selling vehicle. It's taken me a long time to understand this, but they don't want to be the top selling vehicle. I've been to a lot of the media days, and I've been perplexed by what they say to me. We're not competing with Tesla. We don't want the volume sales. And I'll go, why? Why wouldn't you want to sell cars? But actually they don't. They want to sell a vehicle that's luxurious, that gives off that vibe, that perception, so that you, the buyer, feel special buying this vehicle. You don't own a car that every other EV seems to be, which is a Tesla at the moment. And I get it. And now I'm finally getting it. Yes, because, there are a lot of Teslas on the road. It's kind of like the new Camry, the new Corolla on the roads. Like if you want to feel different, the way we used to do as a Tesla driver many years ago, before they became quite commonplace, is to feel special because you're driving a Tesla. Now it's like, all right, every other car is a Tesla, which is not a bad thing. I'm glad there are a lot of EVs, but I can also understand why you would buy a Polestar 2, because there are actually not that many Polestar 2s on the road. And it still has that element of luxury to it. And there's no doubt, when you buy a Polestar 2, they will look after you. The customer service is pretty good from what I'm hearing. And also because they'll take you seriously, because Polestar 2 is a serious brand. They're serious about EVs. That's their product line. They just sell EVs now. So they're a serious brand, they want serious customers, and they'll treat their customers seriously, because it's not a common vehicle. That is the bottom line as to why somebody would pay more for a Polestar 2 over, say, a Tesla Model 3 with arguably better specs on paper. Obviously, the intangible is the fact that this is a luxurious vehicle. I've really enjoyed this car the last week I've had it. It feels lovely. It's a lovely car to drive. I call it comfortable acceleration. You're not thrown into your back of your seat when you accelerate 0 to 100 in 4.2 seconds. It's a comfortable takeoff. I love it. I love the fact that you've got Nappa leather. There's ventilated white Nappa leather. You've got the deco finish throughout the car. This material feels lovely, even though it's probably still plastic, but it's nice. They've actually put effort into the design of the vehicle and the materials used. It doesn't feel cheap. Even the slow, the pedestrian warning sound. Let me just slow down a bit. I'll try and find a red light for you, and then you'll hear the pedestrian warning sound. It feels really nice. Like, it's one of the better sounds I've had in an EV for low pedestrian warning sound. Like, it's not electronic like, say, the BYD, for example. It doesn't feel weird like the Tesla sometimes with that air dryer sound at low speed. Like, there's enough of a takeoff. It's just nice. So little refinements like that, it shows me that they've put thought into this vehicle, and you as a discerning buyer will understand that and go, okay, it feels nice. I want to pay a bit more to feel special in this car. This is the bee's knees of the Polestar 2. So I get it. In some ways, that's why I paid so much for my Model S back in 2016. I mean, EVs were very expensive back then. I thought, I actually want a vehicle that's different. I'm happy to pay a bit more. Sure, I could have bought a Merc or a BMW ICE vehicle back in the time, but I'm paying a bit more because I want to buy an EV. I want to do something for the sustainability of this planet. I want to drive an EV that's better for my health, my family's health, for the community. and I want to show people how an EV can work in Australia. So yeah, I get it. And kudos to Polestar too. They've designed a very, very nice vehicle to match the needs of their buyers. And now with that mindset in mind, I now understand when I'm reviewing cars now, okay, why do people buy this vehicle? Why does someone buy a Polestar 2? Why does somebody buy a Tesla? Why does somebody buy an MG? I've got to sort of switch gears and go, okay, that's the reason why. Let me just show you this, this low pedestrian sound. Can you hear that? I can sort of briefly hear that. It's lovely. It's just subtle enough, but that change in tone as you accelerate is just at the right level that you feel, it feels nice. It's got that feeling, it's that intangible feeling that's a lovely vehicle to drive. And still gets some of that tactileness because it's got the increase in tone as you accelerate. So they've got it just right, spot on. So I hope you know where I'm coming from, everyone, when I'm trying to explain this to you. I've thought long and hard about how to make this vlog, how to make this work, and hopefully that's come through. You see, even if I decelerate, right, you get that drop in tone, that decrescendo, to make you feel like you are slowing down, that feedback, which I actually quite like. So, and this is not a paid video, by the way. I mean, Polestar in the past has shipped me off to a hotel to stay for the night for their media stuff, but this particular video is just my own thoughts. They've obviously loaned me the vehicle for the week. Let me just accelerate for you again. Can you hear that? That's really lovely. That's really nice. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I'll just go in this lane here. And the indicators, I get it too. I didn't like it at first, but now I understand. It's that subtle touch as well. Okay, so thanks everyone for watching. That's my thoughts on the bee's knees of the Polestar 2. Again, long-range dual motor, PPP, Performance Plus Pilot. Very well-appointed vehicle, very luxurious. Polestar will look after you, no doubt. $115,000 on the roads here in New South Wales. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, everyone. This is Tom from Ludicrous Feed, and until the next video, take care, stay safe, and as always, happy charging.